Okay. So, if I'm doing a cylinder or a bunch of cylinders and they're all in the same perspective, you can start with the circle. And then you can use that same circle to do that, right? That's pretty basic. And then you can connect those anchor points to those anchor points. And if you change the color of one, looks like that, or the other, it'll change. Oh, come on, grab that. Let's do it this way. Okay, so that way it looks like we're looking up at it. And this way it looks like we're looking down at it. Okay, so if we're looking down at this thing, but it has like a lid or something, then you can grab this, lift it up, and hold Alt and Shift, and then it'll start to, it stays in the exact same perspective. And you can come up and continue to kind of come in, you know, and out. Right, and all of that looks just fine, and all you have to do is just connect the lines in between. So let's finish this off. Then copy, paste in front, like this. And then you can do cool things like let's make the top of this like that, and then let's grab this one again, and we'll come down. What is happening? It's weird. Down like that. Grab this one, cut this outside edge, and then this can be darker. And it kind of gives you that lip, right? And then you can just come in and you can just say, okay, so one of two things. You can draw a rectangle or you can just use this object. So Shift C to get that to be a corner. Shift C to get that to be a corner. White arrow tool. And grab that anchor point and line it up. And that anchor point and line it up. Okay, and you start to have kind of that cylinder going on. And you can do the same thing here, so let's do this really fast. So boom, add, and boom, and A, and A. And then you can even change those colors just a touch. You know, or another thing you can do is you can grab this one and you can drag it down like that, and grab this one and subtract, and that'll give you a shadow there. And so you can kind of, oops, don't want the whole thing. I just want that one. Go up just a little bit and make that a shadow. Put this whole on top. Let's make this color. But the idea is that you're using the one thing to put everything in perspective. And so we started this whole thing with just that one circle. And then everything else is going to look like it belongs and looks like it is in perspective because of that one circle working. And we just use that over and over again. Just copy, paste in front, or Alt click and drag or something like that.
So how do you Alt click and drag just does another one right?
Yeah, so if I have something like this and I hold Alt with the black arrow tool, I click and drag, it'll make an exact copy of that thing.
Yeah, I know that, but how did you get it to go
So
right over the top?
if I want it to be right over the middle, or right over the top of it, Command C will copy it. And then let's put this on a different layer so we can see what's going on. And so let's create a shape that's not a circle. Okay, so we've got this shape here. Okay, now I go Command C, Command V is actually going to paste in the center of whatever the view is at the time. But Command B puts it exactly on top, directly behind it, and Command F puts it exactly on top, directly in front of it. And so, just for illustration's sake, if I grab that like that, and we'll make this one like that, so you can kind of see that they're all exactly on top of each other. But if I take this one, Command C, Command F goes on top, Command C, Command B goes on bottom. And then Alt, click and drag, or Alt, click and drag while you're holding Shift. It does that.
Okay.
Kind of ridges there. You could start with your bucket here, and then there's a little bit of a ridge, and so I do like the same thing, right? And then I'll go a bigger gap, and I want to do the inside of the ridge, so I'll go up a little bit and make that smaller. Why is that jumping? That's driving me crazy. Hold on, let me change the color of this. I think I've got something on the view. None of the snaps.
So you don't use the snaps?
I do sometimes. When I'm trying to make precise movements, it's kind of annoying.
I have lots of lines matching up.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually you've got stuff going all over the place. And sometimes I just go to Command Y because it's easier. And another thing that you can do is if you make one of these, you don't have to do this whole copy and drag process over and over again. I can just say, all right, this and this and this. I'm gonna group them up, and then I have that there, and so I can grab this top one and lighten it up a little bit. That needs to be that. And these need to be behind. Okay, but now I've got this every time, so I can actually come in. And let's just do our ridges. So let's go, we've got 2 ridges and then the bottom. So we'll go down like that, and then we'll go down just a little bit more like that. Throw this one behind that one, and this one all the way to the back behind that one. And then all we have to do is just do the shapes in between.
Yeah, how do you do that?
So,
because I tried to do it that way at the beginning.
So it's the same shape, right? So I'm just going to grab this again. I'm going to just bring it right to the top there. And then I'm going to come in just a little bit. And up just a little bit, because we're going to see that ridge because we're looking down at it. Like that. And then all I have to do, and if you go into isolation mode, it'll help because it'll lock everything. So then all I have to do is just grab this top one and lift it up. And then reconnect those again. Get out of isolation mode. You've got that, and then you can take this, drag it up to here, put that above that. Do the same thing. Double click to get into isolation mode. Click on this top one. Raise it up. This one. And this one. Raise it up. To get out of isolation mode. And then if you want, you can grab this top shape, right? And it'll give you that inner lip, okay? Or you can come in and say, I'm gonna grab this top shape and go to Object, Path, Offset Path, Preview again. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna change away from inches because inches are driving me crazy. Pixels are a lot more precise. Object, Path, Offset Path, and go Preview. And we're gonna come inside to give it some thickness. About like that. There we go, okay. And then you can kind of just check real quick to see if anything is going to hit, and there is that one. That one's going to hit. And so we would see, it's possible that you would see a little ridge there. Okay, and so we can, it's the same color, but it would hit the light different. So I'm just gonna take this and ungroup it. Get rid of this guy, and I'll show you a little trick. So I come up here and put that. Oh shoot! I didn't copy it. Go back up. Okay, I wanted to. There we go. Now it stays. Okay, so grab this, delete that out of the way. Okay, get this guy, match it up with that right there. Okay, so I have a copy of that, and then I just cut on the outside of that shape. Oop, I selected too many things. Okay, so we've got a bunch of groups, so let's get rid of those. Okay, I've screwed everything up. We're going to ungroup everything. This is where like naming your layers. Okay, that. Okay. So this one, that one. Why isn't that working? What is going on? Did I already destroy something that I shouldn't? Okay, let's try one more time. I'm just going to take this top one, copy, paste in front, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to delete that. That's what I was trying to do the whole time. Okay, and then I'll grab that one that I just cut, which it's hard to tell, but it looks like that one. Okay, and we could, make that a little bit darker or lighter or whatever. And then throw it to the top. And see, that's going to kind of suggest this connection on the inside. That's a little weird looking, but if you get the color right, it'll work, right? And so we'll just saturate it. Yeah, that's good there. Okay, then you're just going to grab one of these inside ones, and you're just going to match it up there. And then you just grab the 3 anchor points at the bottom and move them down. Throw it in the back. Okay, you get a bucket. Now that's too wide and looks kind of weird, but because everything's in the same perspective, it'll squish all right. And if you wanted to, you could come in here and you could grab this and use that to cast a shadow. And so, we could grab this piece, copy, paste it back, and just drop one of these sides. Drop this a little bit. Come on, come down. That'll add a little bit of a shadow, and then you can use this outer edge to cut it. And once you have that, you can just copy. And then you just step it forward until it shows up.
How do you step it forward?
Command right bracket or left bracket.
Okay, that's a range.
Yeah, that's a range, right? And so if you have stuff like this, let's change that to different colors. Okay, so if I take this gray one and I press Command left bracket, it steps back. If I press Command Shift right bracket, it jumps to the front or jumps to the back. So the shift makes it jump. Anyway, it does that. You can also just right click and
That's what I always do.
yeah. But when you don't know where things are, sometimes right clicking, you got to do that so many times. It's really repetitive. So, okay, that was a lot, but there is a video.
It's just hard to get in that perspective, I guess. You can see things like that. Because when I look at it, I don't look at it that way.
Yeah, and that's okay. It'll come eventually. But what you're really just looking at is like colors and shapes. Like how is it that I can make, how is it that I can kind of interpret these colors and these shapes? Well, it's only going to be lighter when it catches light. And so another thing that you can do is you can say, okay, if I've got a line like this, right? And I go copy, paste, and back, and I go a little bit up, and I make that lighter, and then I go copy, paste, and back, and I go down a little bit lower, and I make that darker. Okay, those could be lines just as easily as they could be squares. But what that's actually doing is that the light source is coming from the top and casting a shadow on the bottom. And so if we put, something like this behind it, it helps to define that. It helps to define that ridge.